Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. The initial CPAC North Carolina, Congressman Walker, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a great turnout on a Saturday, beautiful day, beautiful property. We've got a couple of guys, Sheriff Sam Page and Congressman Dan Bishop's joining us today as well. Welcome to North Carolina officially. How about a welcome for CPAC today? Absolutely.
We have a lot to talk to you about today. Is all of North Carolina this pretty? I have a feeling not everything could be quite as nice as this. And we have been, I've been with the chairman of the Republican Party here, Michael Wadley, all day, going to all these great little towns. I had some barbecue at lunch. I hear you guys have really good barbecue. And so I'm a little sleepy. Is that normal? Yeah. After you eat too much barbecue?
Yeah, we have a guy running for Senate on the Democrat side. Yes. I don't think he knows a whole lot about barbecue. Have you seen that the other day as far as having hot dog and hamburger buns at his barbecue? In North Carolina, that's not how we do it.
Even I figured it out. He was like standing in front of like a grill. That didn't look right.
It didn't, not at all.
He's gotten himself into some other problems, which we might skip right now.
He's had some other issues that we may get into a little bit later on today.
Yeah, you got to be careful with your phones, folks. You got to be real careful. So, Congressman, you're one of our great allies in Congress. We know that you've got plans outside of Congress as well, but that you love your country. You're going to stay real involved in politics, and I know you've got to literally go officiate a wedding. So I think you should tell the people here in your neck of the woods what you think is going on in the country and why we should be optimistic.
You know, I've heard the cliche sometimes, Matt, in past elections of how much is on the line. But one of the things I have no problem doing is looking people in the eye and telling this is the most important election of our lifetime. What is at stake? The socialistic behavior. I'm not talking about far leftist group. I'm talking about people being sent to Congress who uphold such liberal leftist ideas that will do this country so much damage. As a former pastor, I've been able to travel, do mission trips throughout the world. I know what socialism looks like. And what they're trying to introduce and implement on the backs of great Americans is something that would do this country great damage. And that's why so many good people like are here today are willing to engage and stand up and say, not on my watch, let's fight back and let's get involved.
Right. Yeah. You think, give us a little political feel. I've been driving around. It seems like there's a lot of enthusiasm for the president here. It seems like the governor does not seem that popular. Somebody told me he's Cooper the Pooper. Is that unfair?
Well, Cooper the control freak, we do know that much, yeah. Yeah, we're excited about North Carolina. Some of you remember you were involved back in 2016. President Trump was polling between 5 and 5.5. They said it's impossible. He comes up and slams dunk in November in 2016, and he's going to do it again this year as well. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I'm sure it was just a little thing, but there's a Supreme Court opening. You aware of this? Yeah. And, you know, the president, you know, he's such a waffler. People were saying, oh, you know, maybe you should wait. All the smart people, well, maybe you should wait till after the election. What did he decide to do? He decided to fill the seat.
Yeah, he delivered. He did exactly what he said it was doing. How refreshing to have a president who said, I'm going to do this, and actually does it, Matt. You know. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to happen.
I'm going to give you the microphone if you keep that up. By the way, if the president gets 4 more years, Congressman, look for him to fill, I always do that. My mom raised me to be humble. When he gets 4 more years, not if. I think he's going to get 2 more picks within short order in that second term. That means Donald Trump would have gotten 5 out of 9 picks.
5 out of 9, unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
And think about what that means for your children and my children and our grandchildren. Generational change in Washington, D.C., not since Franklin Roosevelt when he had 12 years. President's going to do it in a lot more short time.
And, you know, we had some Republicans where I live in the swamp. Don't hate me for it. It's an occupational hazard. We're raising 5 kids up in that area, and I had a lot of Republicans who didn't like Donald Trump too much who said, oh, we just should vote for Hillary because this Donald Trump guy, he's too much. And I said, well, you know, I don't agree with you because I happen to love and respect the president. But at the very least, if you're going to call yourself a conservative, wouldn't you want to have this next opening picked by a Republican? And they said, oh, no, he's not going to go off that list.
Yeah. But he did. Once again, he followed through on what he said he would do, and that's why we've got to work as hard as we can to make sure that he has an additional 4 more years.
So you're going to go officiate a wedding, and you're a former pastor. Maybe it's not really a former pastor. Once you're a pastor, you're always a pastor. But at least from my point of view.
I'll take it. Yeah.
But what are they going to do to this woman? I mean, this woman has the audacity to believe in the Bible, to believe in Jesus as her Savior, to go to church, to believe that her family could be open to life and adopting kids in trying circumstances. Apparently she gets together with other Christians of other denominations and prays. This is some radical stuff.
Matt,
what are they going to say about this?
Matt, what we're facing is beyond Republican, Democrat. It's spiritual warfare. And a lot of these folks know exactly what I'm talking about. There's an evil that's pushing back against some of this. And I remember one of the most egregious nights that we've had in the 6 years I've had a chance to serve is when we dared put a Born Alive amendment on the House floor. We were able to identify 1,500 adults that survived a botched abortion. So we thought, even beyond the pro-abortion movement that's out there, if a baby survives a botched abortion, shouldn't we do everything we could to protect its life? Only 3 Democrats out of 194 that night supported it. That's the kind of battle, and that's what we've got to push back against.
Yeah, things have changed. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, we have a governor who likes to keep the baby comfortable. He literally said that. He's a man, he's an MD, he's a doctor. Keep the baby comfortable after the baby's born, and then work with the parents, the doctor, and their pastor. I don't believe that. To kill the child. The Democratic Party has shifted a lot. You know, there was such a thing as a conservative Democrat, a lot of them in the state of North Carolina. Yeah. What's happened to this party as they've embraced socialism?
Listen, I was just having lunch with a former Democratic member who was pro-life, and they asked him would he consider running again. He said, I could never win a primary. The reason why they not just shun those people, they rid them of their party. Dan Lipinski's another one, a pro-life Democrat. They've primaried him out. AOC and gang, they told him we're getting rid of you, and that's exactly what they've done. That's not the party of tolerance. That's not the party of openness. They will say it. I saw a bumper sticker the other day, 2 of them. It said, on one side it said resist, the other side it says coexist. I'm not sure how you merge those 2 right there.
So we used to be the liberals. I don't know if you all learned this in school. We were the liberals. We believed in education. We believed in being open-minded and being tolerant and listening to the other person's point of view. Then the leftists took the word liberal because they were supposedly the accepting, non-judging ones. Have anybody in this room felt horribly judged by these quote-unquote liberals? Oh my gosh.
I think they call it the cancel culture now.
It's the cancel culture. And so I got this idea that we should take this word back. If they want to be socialists, which is the name of this tour, America versus Socialism, America's on the ballot. It's not just Donald Trump. It's not just Mr. Forrest. It is America that's on the ballot, right? So when we vote and when we work in November, it's about saving our country. If they want to be socialists, why don't we grab back the word liberal? Because most conservatives I know, we are not into being busybodies in other people's lives. We think everyone deserves to live the life they want.
We believe in individual and liberty and opportunity for all of our communities. And that's the one thing that we're seeing right now. Absolutely. It is the democratic oppression that is ruining some of these major cities because they bring in these rules and these regulations that literally limit God's potential in somebody's life, and we see that all the time. I love that what you're talking about. The Republican Party is more liberal when it comes to openness and toleration when it comes to bringing all of us together.
And socialism, as we know, is exactly the opposite. It's not just bad economics. It's not just high taxes, a lot of regulation, the government making all the decisions. It's about swiping you, ridding you of your dignity, of your rights as an individual, God-given rights. We all understand that. We understand that each one of us is going to live a life that might be a little different from what someone else might choose. We believe in that. Yep. And socialism doesn't. Socialism says to you, no, you're not smart enough. No. You didn't go to the right schools. You let us make the tough decisions. And so sometimes it's not going to go your way, but it'll be good for the whole if you surrender these rights.
You see that all the time, and it's creeping into D.C., and then even down to our state legislatures. We're seeing it constantly. Do as I say, not as I do. And you see, this is where the leftists are.
Are you talking about getting your hair done if you're the Speaker of the House? I have a feeling that was kind of,
a little bit in there. But you look at the fraud, and I will say this about Joe Biden, trying to come across as so compassionate. I went back and looked this up. Matt, the last 10 years of his time in Senate, because of his book, he made an average of $310,000 a year. You know what his annual charitable giving was? $360. So this do as I say, not as I do. It's good for you, but not for me. It's more Washington, D.C. elitists, and it's a leftist generation that we're seeing that we've got to push back against.
You know, there's another issue I think that's awfully important, and that's all this violence that's in our streets.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, we've partnered together, the ACU and you and many other members of Congress, to look at our criminal justice reform, or our criminal justice system, and try to reform it. Can you imagine that what these Marxists are saying would be good for young black children is to rid them of families and to burn down and shut down churches and get rid of statues of Jesus? And that just seems, it's exactly counter to what needs to be done.
Matt, now we're great to have one of the nation's best sheriffs here with us today, Sam Page, but I will tell you this, it is the mindset of the basis of socialism is that the government is your solution for every aspect of life, economically, healthcare, even now we're seeing it religiously. That's the battle that we're facing right now in the 21st century.
Well, we've got to let you go to take care of the nuptials. And we're going to see you later on. And I know you're going to be at the dinner later on as well.
We will be back for that.
Can everybody
yes.
tell Mark Walker how much we appreciate what he does in Congress?
Thank you so much. God bless you. And Matt Schlapp, thanks for coming to North Carolina with ACU. Love to have you here.
Great to be here.